All right. You shouldn't be surprised what the main topic is going to be today. I don't like being predictable, but Fed Follies. Talking about the Fed. We're going to go over that press conference statement. Did you watch the market action yesterday? They saw the statement. Oh, okay. Looks like things are going to be tempered. Then Powell came out as the Uber Hawk, Hawkman. Hey, Hawkman, is it a DC superhero? Hawkman. He went from Dove Man to Hawkman. I don't know. How about a little bit of moderation in life? Just saying. What was our suggestion? What was our suggestion? What was it? What are we now? A year and a half, 2 years ago? Slowly raise rates, quarter basis point, start winding down that bond portfolio. Nice and easy. There's a Greek phrase for it. My mother-in-law uses it all the time. Siga, siga. Easy, easy. Well, the Fed is not siga, siga by any stretch of the imagination. It's the 75 basis point hamster wheel hammer that we're on. Jay Powell, the hammer. Is it working? Is it working? I think of the hammer, and I know I played this clip on the radio show. This was several months ago. As it's seen in the movie Splash with Tom Hanks. And he's stuck out on this little boat, and he's afraid of water. And he's got this real big guy that's taking him out to, I don't know, Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket. And the boat stops. And the guy driving the boat says, "I can fix it. I'm mechanical." Takes out a hammer, just starts banging on the engine. And it doesn't do anything. He jumps overboard and swims to shore to bring back the little boat. But anyway, I think about that. This is what you're dealing with when you get a hammer. I don't believe that the Fed is on the right track by any stretch of the imagination. But they screwed up. They were late to the party. Now they're this is their attitude again. They might be just you want to call it Fed virtue signaling. Comments that he made might be on purpose because the data that we're looking at right now doesn't make any sense. I mean, yesterday you had Jay Powell come out and is talking about, easing up when we get to a point where rent escalation and certain things are coming down. If you actually take a look at the numbers, it's going backwards as far as rent is concerned. Again, they missed it when things were going up. And we were telling you, look out, inflation is coming. Take a look at some of these rents and real estate prices. They were out of control, and we warned there. And now things are coming down. The past 2 months have marked a rapid cool down in the market. Going forward, it's likely that rents will continue falling in the coming months as we enter the winter slow season for the rental market. Rents this year are up 5.9%, but they were up 18% last year, and the decline is starting to happen. We know this. We know what's going on with the real estate market. We can see signs of certain things coming down. That's all well and good. But again, I can't stress this enough. I think I mentioned it yesterday. I'm not sure. Can't remember exactly. Just thinking about it can you name for me something that fossil fuels are not involved with? You take a look around you right now. Every piece of plastic that's there, it's petroleum products, food you're eating. Just fertilizer, the energy that the farmers had to use. I mean, it's in everything. And this is why it's so pervasive. How the Fed is how are they going to deal with that? And even yesterday, Jay Powell was asked about it, and he really didn't say much. I want to talk about the softball type of questions that are thrown up there. Outside of, it was a reporter from Fox Business was actually asking about government spending and getting government spending under control. And now it's interesting. Now the Wall Street Journal is jumping on board my bandwagon, taking a look, saying, "Wait a second here. This fiscal policy and monetary policy, they're not separate." No shit, they're not separate. Do you think the Fed would need to do all of this easing, all of this money printing, if the government wasn't sending out checks to everyone? And I got a couple questions in regards to this. I missed it this morning. I guess it was a conversation on, I think it was CNBC. It's Sam Zell on, and they were talking about, could the interest rates, could they go above 8%? They could, but I don't know. We would have to have some sort of going out of business sale here in the United States. How in the world are we going to pay back those types? $31 trillion in debt. We would have to start selling off Yosemite and the Grand Canyon, and maybe see if Vladimir Putin wants to take back Alaska. I don't know. Hawaii? At 8%, we're done, man. What are we going to do? How are we going to pay on that? So no, I don't think rates are going to that level because, let's be honest, world's reserve currency, and we're too big to fail. Anyway, I had this sent. I love the Babylon Bee. I do. And you all know that I've been very, very critical of the Federal Reserve and the fools there at the Fed. And they did a great job today. This is actually was sent to the Babylon Bee by Young Americans for Liberty. 15 job qualifications to work for the Fed. Federal Reserve controls the economy, prints trillions of dollars so they can make you poorer without taxing you, and raise interest rates on things because of reasons. Sound like something you're interested in? Check out this list of key job requirements to work at the Fed. Must be a United States citizen. Up to date with all 20 COVID boosters. Know how to change an ink cartridge on a money printer. Must possess all fingers and toes for counting purposes. Little to no knowledge of economics, basic math required. Ability to go on TV and look very concerned whenever there's a recession brewing. You must think that Paul Krugman is the greatest living economist. Make a 1% into a 2% and vice versa. You must be proficient in doublespeak, always leaving ambiguity in your words. Experience with blame shifting. Must be able to call 0.01% 1 basis point to sound smarter. Able to sound 2,000% certain about something that has a 5% chance of actually happening. Communist preferred, socialist accepted. Must be out of touch with the American people. Experience with Microsoft Office preferred, but not required. I'd add one to this. This is great stuff, though. I'd add one to this. No, disqualifiers, work in the private sector. Having a real job at some point in your life. Anyway, moving on. I saw this. It's about Twitter, and it's the drama surrounding Twitter. I mean, you get AOC and these other left-wing fools freaking out over an $8 a month. It's like a process. They're going to prove you whether or not it's you who you are. You kind of look at it as almost like TSA pre-check. I still haven't got my TSA pre-check. Every single time I go to get my bloody TSA pre-check, the freaking government computers are down, and I got to drive all the way to bloody Comac to do it, for crying out loud. Anyway, neither here nor there. As I get off the beaten track. Anyway, Elon Musk, all this drama. Laying off a lot of people, almost 50% of their workforce. And I would expect more job cuts are coming. But this is a story I wanted to touch on today. The United States is exploring whether it has the authority to review Musk's Twitter deal. Large foreign investors would have access to confidential information. They go on and on down the list. They're worried about the Qataris who are invested, all of these things. I'm gonna basically go right through this for you. This is our government. This is the U.S. government basically saying, get in line, Elon, or we're coming after you. That is what our government has become. Almighty, all powerful, omnipotent. We're coming after you, and it's frightening. Again, you remember when Chuck Schumer, I'll never forget it. I mean, Chuck Schumer is doing an interview with Rachel Maddow and talking about Trump and draining the swamp and Trump going after the CIA and the FBI and Schumer coming out and saying, yeah, these guys got 11 ways past Sunday to come after you. And I'm saying to myself, that's freaking frightening, man. That's scary stuff. So this is a warning shot across the Twitter bow. I'm just telling you. It is a warning shot. I don't know. Maybe Elon might have to move Twitter, do one of those tax inversions deals, move it to Dublin or move it offshore. Who knows? Anyway, scary stuff though. And again, this goes to the whole drain the swamp thing that we're big believers in, but never happened. Anyway, I got a little business quick hits here that I want to go over. Yeah, and I do apologize. It is fall here in the Northeast, and you hear a lot of now leaf blowers. It is what it is. The funny thing about leaf blowers is that, they work and you know what? They make a lot of noise and they can be a little bit annoying. But man, oh man, some people really get bent out of shape over them. I mean, they get nuts and how awful and evil. Just why can't you rake? Well, everybody wants to keep their landscaping bill down a reasonable level. The leaf blower is a little more efficient. Anyway, neither here nor there. Some business quick hits here and some other stuff. Jeep maker Stellantis, again, Jeep is Italian now, expects raw material inflation to ease next year. Yeah, we all see this coming. Supply chains are working their way through. So yeah, raw materials and whatnot are going to come down in price. That's good. They do say that there might be other aspects, inflationary aspects that could hurt the overall profitability of the company. But again, one of the things that I find interesting is, a lot of these cars that were held up, that were semi-assembled, if you will, they were built with very expensive materials at the time, which, again, a lot of these companies are going to take a bit of a hit. I mean, the price for cars right now is extraordinary. It really is. Not to mention, you take a look at the borrowing costs. If you need money to borrow, money to buy a car, it's going to make it a bit difficult. But anyway, this is interesting. How many people have seen the Russian gas stations here in this country? Citgo is Venezuelan. Citgo is Venezuelan. Lukoil, Lukoil, Russian. We have one not far from where I live here on Long Island. I don't know where they stretch around the country. I've seen them in the Northeast. I've seen them in New Jersey. Well, it was a story talking about, again, how Vladimir Putin avoids some of the sanctions. Well, the sanctions are on crude. It's not on refined products. Vladimir Putin, Russia has a oil refinery. Lukoil has an oil refinery in Sicily. So they ship the crude to Sicily, refine it, and it magically becomes an Italian product, which can then be shipped all over the globe and here to the United States to avoid sanctions. I got a sinking suspicion that Lukoil is going to be putting up some more refineries overseas. CNBC has canceled. They had this one straight business program on. It was Shepard Smith's program, and I watched it. a few times, and again, I think he did a pretty good job. I did. I think he did a pretty good job. He tried very hard to play it straight on the program, much like Brett Baer does on Fox News. So I found this interesting. Not to mention, I found it interesting. This is, you take a look at the numbers from this company, that the ratings were outstanding. The ratings were outstanding. Not to mention the type of viewers that they have and the wealth that was involved. I have them here. Doubled CNBC's 7 p.m. viewership, bringing in the wealthiest audience of any primetime cable news program over the last 2 years. Then why are you cancel it? Well, I'm going to throw out an idea. I kind of got a feeling what CNBC is going to do. You watch some of these business networks and you see an overwhelming volume when it comes to crypto ads. I got a sinking suspicion, I could be wrong, and I have no inside information on this, that they're going to have a crypto show. Oh, that's right. They're going to have a crypto show, and they can get it sponsored by these crypto companies and run crypto ads, and it would be a cash cow. That's what I think. That's what I think. So it's basically akin to paid for programming, but is it really? I mean, that's how they're going to play this thing. Anyway, speaking of crypto, kind of goes along with the Shepard Smith story. 401k plans now let workers put retirement money into cryptocurrency. Stupid, dumb. I can't even believe just how ridiculous this is. Listen, if you want to go ahead and you want to invest in cryptocurrencies and you want to speculate, that's fine. But you shouldn't be doing any heavy speculating inside a 401k. You shouldn't be doing this. And again, I know I'm a libertarian at heart, live and let live, but I just know how it's going to end. And people are going to lose a fortune. Again, the financial firms are going to do just fine. They're going to do just fine because they're going to set up platforms and be able to facilitate you to trade this, and they will get paid when you do so. Again, a fool and his money. I don't know what to tell you, people. This is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Again, okay? Got some economic Darwinism. You don't have to do it. No one's holding a gun to your head and telling you put crypto in your 401k. More job cuts. We continue to see them. Amazon today announced that they're just freezing hiring across the board. Lyft announced that they're cutting 13% of their workforce, which is about 700 people. And the great Silicon Valley tech flush continues. Had to happen. Had to happen. I get a theory I want to share with you. And how and why these companies have gotten so bloated and out of control. Human resources. That's right. Human resource departments are scary. We don't have one. We're small company. We don't need that nonsense. Again, human resources. People make a complaint. I was fired because this one looked at me funny. This one made me feel uncomfortable. And they'll come up with something. And a lot of these employers, they don't want the heat. They want to be able to go to their cocktail parties on the weekend. They don't want to have to deal with any sort of nonsense, any sort of woke crap, any sort of cancel nonsense. So they're very reluctant to fire people. Very reluctant. That has to do with this whole human resource garbage. I think that the seal's been broken to some degree when it comes to laying people off. And I think Elon Musk playing a part in that too. That it's now okay. It's CEOs for the most part, not all, but most, how shall I put it, are chicken shit for some of the very reasons that I just told you. I think that they feel comfortable now. Remember that? Well, again, my age. Life cereal commercial back from the 1970s with Mikey. and life cereal there, and let Mikey try it, see if he likes it, and then Mike likes it, then everybody else can eat the cereal. It's kind of like that. Once one does it, oh, okay, we can all start laying people off and getting rid of our unproductive slackers, which you need to do. Anyway, yesterday Joe Biden was I don't know. He thinks some sort of half-assed Jedi. He's talking about dark forces at work. Dark forces, the Force. Stay away from the dark side of the Force. Who's the dark side? Republicans. Add a way to bring the country together, schmuck. And I'll be honest with you, okay? Trump didn't do a very good job at that either. Neither did Obama or Bush. We just don't have the type of leadership that we need right now. If you listen to what Joe Biden had to say, it pissed a lot of people off. I do a radio program every morning, 4:45 a.m. It's done by a veteran named Matt Bruce. And people were ticked off at the type of rhetoric that Biden was using, and this constant, threat to democracy, dark forces, fascism, all these words that, most people don't even understand, using to scare people. Not to mention, I don't know if you recognize where Joe Biden gave his speech. It was at the Union Station. The one profitable line for Amtrak where they actually make money it's called the Northeast Quarter. Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Northeast Quarter. Well, Union Station is the end of that corridor. And the last time I was in Union Station was in 2004. I mean, I've been by it. I haven't been to Washington, D.C. in years, but I was there in 2004 and it was all decked out. It was one of the many inaugural balls, George W. Bush. I was actually broadcast from Radio Row during the inauguration like I used to do. And it was there, and it's a beautiful building. I don't know if you actually have seen Union Station as of late. You can take a look at pictures prior to Joe Biden giving a speech there. Looks like tent city. Tent city, drug addicts walking around everywhere, tents everywhere. All the stores inside shut down, closed up due to crime. Nobody wants to go there anymore. Cleaned it up for yesterday, though, with the irony of the entire thing. The country is rip-roaring mad about crime, and this is what you get. But, speaking of crime, it's like that Popeye moment. It's all you can stand, you can't stand no more. The amount of violence in this country, there's something wrong, people. Again, I've talked about this for a while. We've lost our way. We really have. We need to, find God. People have got to start going back to church. There's just major issues that we have. Violence, Newark, guys sniper on the roof, shooting at police officers, shooting in Pennsylvania. And I see this story. West Village, New York, female jogger out, 6 a.m. run, gets attacked, dragged, raped. Some lady eventually found her and, called for, an ambulance, medical, but, other people jogging by, no one helping at all. It just makes me sad. And again, how do you do that? How do you see someone in distress or someone being attacked and do nothing? And you wonder why you see these attacks and things that happen, on the subway, and everybody just kind of minds their own business. How do you do that? Shouldn't your first instinct as a human being, a fellow human being, would be to help? Have we all become that, self-centered? And again, this is West Village. All the good libs are there. I bet you that's 98% blue. Anyway, the violence has to stop. I'm like, where the hell's Batman? Where the hell's Batman? I got to make more money. I got to become a billionaire and then, turn into Batman. I can just start going after these sickos out there, because obviously the police are not doing it. And again, I know there's a lot of people listening to this program from all over the country who have their kids are in some of these major metropolitan areas. Tell them to be smart. Okay, it's not the way it used to be. Giuliani's not running the show. Bloomberg's not there in New York, and some of these other cities, the same thing. You don't go out on a jog on your own. I mean, this is stuff that you don't. There might not be any sharks, but you don't go swimming in the ocean by yourself. What if you get a cramp or there's an undertow or something like that? You don't go for a jog at 6 o'clock in the morning when it's dark out. It's dark here in New York at 6 o'clock in the morning. Really dark. You don't go on a jog at 6 o'clock in the morning, a female, by yourself in Manhattan nowadays. And again, there's a lot of these libs out there. They keep touting this thing. Oh, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Crime's not so bad. You don't know what you're talking about. Bullshit. I know the difference, kids. You're all a bunch of kids. You don't know. Okay? You don't know how it was, how it used to be compared to the way it is today. And you know what? You have to look out. You have to look out. You have to protect yourself. Don't do stupid things. You got your kids living in some of these places. Okay, I get it. A lot of youngsters, they want to go to these urban areas. I did too. Okay, I get it. But you got to tell them that, get head on a swivel and be smart. Anyway, as bad as things seem here in the United States, when it comes to the economy and inflation, I'm not making this up. And again, here is, I told you so. I told you to sell the UK. I said, you don't want anything to do with that country at all as far as investing is concerned. The Bank of England raised rates by 75 basis points, and they came out. And they said it's going to be very challenging moving forward. They're calling for a 2-year slump, with unemployment nearly doubling by 2025. Yeah, the central bank boss, Andrew Bailey, warned of a tough road ahead for UK households, but said it had to act forcefully now or things will be worse later on. Yeah, no. What you needed to do is what Liz Truss wanted, and create and enhance businesses in the supply side. But instead, these so-called conservatives in the UK are, no, we'll send out more checks. We'll stop fracking. Again, the Kinks sang it. We all know the tune. Again, this is a touchy subject here in this country. And I gave my questions I had in regards to what happened with Paul Pelosi in the House. And again, stuff doesn't add up. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. I didn't make any assumptions or anything like that. But if you were a detective, if you were, what's the name of the character? Great film. Knives Out. Daniel Craig played this detective in Knives Out. And you saw all of this, information and it, coming out, and, third line to the presidency, alarm doesn't go off. Nobody's monitoring the security cameras as well. It's a lot of convenient crap we're being told. I'm not saying it might be true, but guess what? There's one way you could crush all of the conspiracy theories. Each and every one of them. You might want to release the body cam footage from the cops, and also the footage from the security cameras. Are they going to do it? No. Listen, we all know. Okay. Again, my feelings. I'm a conservative libertarian guy. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I make fun of both. You know as well as I do, if this was, I don't know, the spouse of, let's say it was Mitch McConnell that was attacked with similar type of circumstances. Don't you think the donkeys would be calling for the video? I mean, how can you not question this? And this is the husband of the Speaker of the House. The police in the bloody Chicago Jussie Moulay thing figured that out. And again, you could squash everything. You could no conspiracy. This is what happened. Release the video. That's all. I don't trust the powers that be. I don't trust the cops in San Francisco. I don't trust the DA in San Francisco. I don't trust the media. I don't trust the elites. I'm sorry, I don't. Nor should you. They perpetually lie to us on a regular basis. Anyway, this is one last story, and this is good news. Again, for me, it's good news. Demand for labor remains intense at U.S. small firms as owners continue to struggle to find willing and qualified applicants for their numerous open positions. It's according to the National Federation of Independent Business and their monthly employment survey. Their chief economist said that 46% of all owners reported job openings they could not fill in the current period. Wow. I mean, it's a tight labor. Isn't that good? You can go out, you can find work, and small businesses still want to hire. What's interesting is the 48 historical average is 23. 23%. Isn't that the economy we want to have? The ability, you get laid off. You get laid off from Twitter. You can go out and you can find yourself another job. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that what we want to have? Why do we need to wreck that? Anyway, have a great day, everybody. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com is our site. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. We'll see you.